Hello friends, this is an ongoing series on natural law and consciousness. Today we're going to be looking at the Kabbalah, the symbolism of the Kabbalah, also known as the Tree of Life. So what's the background and history of the Kabbalah? Where did it come from? Now the Kabbalah is the Western mystical occult tradition that underlies Judaism. Today, Western occultism is a study of the Kabbalah. Other traditions, including Judaism, astrology, and the tarot, are intertwined with the Kabbalah. They came out of the Kabbalah. So the symbols of these traditions come from the Kabbalah. So to study the Kabbalah is to study the tarot. The Kabbalah is much older than the Judaic tradition. It goes far back into the ancient world, even beyond the Egyptian mystery traditions. Now the Seal of Solomon comes to us from the Star of David. There is a dark side and a light side to the Kabbalah. Dark occultists want to hide their methodologies, their methods of mind control. They don't want people to understand these techniques. However, you cannot keep a person under mind control who profoundly understands those techniques that are being used against them. The Kabbalah provides knowledge of the self. And before it was corrupted, religions were profound traditions that provided self-knowledge. However, in this current age, religions and leaders of the dark occult want to hide the traditions that teach self-mastery. They don't want you to look at the authentic traditions, but instead want you to focus on exoteric stories, the stories of people and gods and conflicts in heaven. Knowledge has been hidden throughout the ages for different reasons. Some people have had to hide it because they know there's power to transform consciousness, and how the male dominators of their time would have killed them if they had used this knowledge for positive gain or transformation. The Star of David is the union of the chalice and the blade, two ancient archetypal symbols from the past. The blade, pointing upwards, represents the male aspect of personality. The chalice, an inverted triangle, is the feminine principle. It is the womb of creation, the creative or intuitive force, or the correct right brain principle. Now these two, the chalice and the blade, when they come together, form the Seal of Solomon, the Star of David. Solomon has the word soul, or sun, and mon, sun and moon, Solomon. Therefore, Solomon is the sun and the moon coming together. The Seal of Solomon is a map of the consciousness. The tree has two aspects, a microcosmic aspect, or the indwelling aspect of consciousness, and a macrocosmic aspect. The tree reflects the universe, the cosmic principles, cosmic laws, and how that relates to the person. Now, there are three columns. On the right-hand side is called the Pillar of Mercy. On the left-hand side is the Pillar of Judgment. So if you look at the Tree of Life, there's three columns. The left, the right, and the coming together of the two in the middle. The left is the Pillar of Judgment, or severity. Right is the Pillar of Mercy. The path in the middle is a synthesis of these two, which is a Pillar of Harmony, or mildness. The Sephiroth. Now there are 10 Sephiroth, 10 circular symbols in the Tree of Life. Sephiroth means updwelling, or an emanation, an expression. Each of these spheres is an emanation or expression of God and individual consciousness. They express a monad of consciousness, the totality of consciousness that we call God. There is a numbering system. The numbers begin at the top. The top sphere, or Sephiroth, is called Keta. The second one on the right-hand side is called Chokmah, which means wisdom. The third on the right-hand side is called Binah. The right pillar in the middle is compassion and mercy. The middle pillar. So the left column is the path of severity. Gebura means strength or severity. The middle of the pillar is mercy. Tippereth means beauty. At the bottom of the pillar of mercy is Netzach, which means endurance or victory. And at the bottom of the pillar of severity is called Hod, which means majesty or splendor. The middle pillar above the bottom is called Yesod, which means foundation. The lower Sephiroth is called Malkuth, which is kingdom. It's the bottom sphere upon which the whole of the tree rests. Now, it's interesting to note that numerology, if you add all the numbers of the Sephiroth and then use reduction, meaning that you add all the numbers down until you come to a signal digit, then that digit equals 1. It is a tradition that is based upon fundamental unity. There are 10 Sephiroth. So you start at 1 and you get back to 1 once you go up the tree and down. This is like a round trip journey. It's an energy of the Creator spreading itself to the physical world and then assisting the journey back from matter, back up to spirit, back to oneness, which many traditions have discussed. Now this is the breathing out and the breathing in of God. It is a cyclical journey of the soul. It is the forgetting and then the remembering process. Now, all the traditions speak about this, and we can see that in the physical world. So, understand that the two pillars are dual aspects of the same force. Bringing these two opposite pillars together along the middle pillar so that the spheres overlap. Then we have a representation of the chakra system. There are 7 spheres, 7 chakras, because this would mean to merge, to create the 7 chakras. The sephira on the left-hand side and the right-hand side come together and meet in the center. The eternal tree of life in the Kabbalistic tradition is a ladder to God. It means a ladder from Malkuth, kingdom, at the bottom, to Keter, at the top, which is the ascendance of the energies going down from the crown to the base chakra, and from the base to the crown. All of the qualities on the left-hand side of the pillar of severity are their internal aspects. The qualities on the right-hand side are the external aspects, masculine. The left-hand side in the Kabbalistic tradition is the lunar pillar, the feminine. The right-hand tradition is solar, and the left-hand side is lunar. Now, when I said there's 10 Sephiroth, there's another Sephiroth that's not part of the tree. It's shown sometimes as a dotted circle, which means that's where the tree comes from. So there are 10, just to be clear, there's 10 Sephiroth, not 11. Darth is called the hidden realm. It's not one of the Sephiroth. It's hidden or the occulted realm. Some people in the Kabbalah speak of this realm as the void of the subconscious mind. The realm we enter when we connect to higher levels of consciousness through meditation. It is the unspoken, the abyss, the veiled aspects of ourselves. And it's in this part of ourselves that we connect when we're silent and go into wordless contemplation or meditation. This connects us to the infinite source. It is considered the birthing place of the tree of life. Like the birthing of the soul, which is all the soul qualities. It is the cosmic womb. Some people call it the realm of hidden knowledge. Malkuth, the lowest Sephiroth. This means kingdom. It's the bottom sphere on which all the rest of the tree rests. It's a representation of the physical world, base consciousness, the material realm. It shows 4 distinct elements comprising the material realm. The alchemical symbol of earth, air, water, and fire. This is the lowest or furthest away from cosmic consciousness. It's a hell because it's the furthest separation from God. Malkuth is the realm of suffering, forgetting, materialism, ego, base consciousness, being purely identified with survival. So this would also be associated with Saturn, the planet Saturn, the Saturnian aspect. Saturn, Satan. We must extricate ourselves from Malkuth and move back to high levels of awareness represented by the top Sephiroth known as Keter. Humanity is stuck in Malkuth, the lowest of the 4 worlds of the Kabbalah. We are here because we are all in the material plane. The idea is to transcend the material, work with our consciousness, build it up to high levels of awareness so that we are not identified with the physical plane, even though we exist in it. Jesus, in his words in the New Testament, be in the world, but not of it. Yesod. Now, getting to Yesod, the sphere, the Sephiroth, is the first step towards leaving the identification of the physical domain. The sphere of Yesod is foundation. It is the first step forward, getting out of identification, out of the material world or ego identification. This corresponds to the genital or sacrum chakra and has to do with the desire to improve oneself. To begin the process of transcending base consciousness, you must have a desire for truth, for higher knowledge. If the desire is not there, then you are stuck. What dark occultists call the unbegun, the dead. Yesod is the beginning of the path of initiation. It is the beginning of the desire, the beginning of a long journey up the tree. It recognizes there is some place to go. It does not want to stay confined in the lower physical realms and stuck in an evolutionary dead end. Now, the New World Order is a trap. It is a degradation of human consciousness, and they're trying to keep the evolutionary process in check, keeping people stuck in physicality and low consciousness. Yesod corresponds with Jupiter. Yesod is the understanding that you are in darkness. You have a long journey ahead. You're realizing that you're identified with meaningless things. and the pleasures of the physical world, and you know there is somewhere else to go beyond that. Yesod is the world of Yetzirah. It could be positive or negative. In its positive aspect, it represents the desire to know, to improve oneself, to get out of materiality, get out of the identification zone, reach for higher levels of consciousness. But in its negative aspect, it is being identified with desire and identified with the materialists. The next step, Hod and Netzach. The following two Sephiroth are related to each other. Hod is splendor, majesty. Netzach is victory or endurance. If you bring these two together, Hod will relate to the wanting to improve, which is an internal quality on the left-hand side. Netzach on the right-hand side is the willpower, the strength to do something in the external world, the principle of action. So Netzach means victory or endurance. Now this is relating to the solar plexus. This would correspond to the planet Mars, the male aspect of the will. Now there are two aspects, an internal aspect, which is courage, and the external aspect, which is the ability to do things in the physical world. Netzach represents action in the real world. It's getting things done, the power to get things done. So Tiphareth is beauty. So that's the middle point in the tree of life. It has the most connections because it is what the universe centers around. And it is given the attributes of the sun in the Kabbalistic tradition. So it is like the earth in the system of chakras, which is the solar plexus. Tiphareth. Tiphareth represents the heart chakra, the realm of beauty, care, concern, the generative principle, the principle of love. The words attributed to Jesus are, "None shall come to the Father but through me." Tiphareth represents the sun in this aspect, the quality of God. Jesus is a representation of the sun, and you must pass through that along the middle pillar to get to Keter from Malkuth. So Tiphareth is centered in Keter, in the middle, the center of the tree of life. And the most connections come to Tiphareth because it represents the generative principle, the heart. And this is where the universe is centered around, generating. It is a most critical Sephiroth on the tree of life. We must all get in touch with our feelings, our heart, if we're going to get to the higher levels, from the lower three chakras to the higher chakras with the heart in the middle, making 7. Gebura means severity. This is a quality of self-control, working upon oneself. Sometimes needing to reel in out-of-control qualities. Now, dominion is self-mastery, or simply achieving sovereignty. It is being as you think, as you feel, so you act. Now, when you come together on the middle pillar, that represents the throat chakra. And this is all about the influence and how we speak into reality, severely or with mercy. We must chastise or encourage. We can invoke fear or we can inspire. Now these are different aspects of how we speak. Chesed. Chesed is mercy, and it is the influence of others. Although it could be a dark influence, there is a corresponding tree to this, including the klipoth. It's called the tree of death. The klipoth attributes are about pure negative qualities, selfishness within the individual, and how influence can be used over others for selfish purposes. Occultists, dark occultists use this. They do their bidding. They manipulate the minds of others. They're on the fallen tree, the kapotic path, the path of death. Now moving up the tree. Bina is the top of the pillar of severity on the left-hand side. Bina means understanding. It's an intellectual quality. It's a pure knowing that is an internal quality. It is the knowledge that we carry our experiences, our readings, our study, whom we talk to, what we pay attention to, what we watch, what we listen to, and all the mental qualities of the individual, the right side or the right hemisphere. So the realm of basic knowledge that we carry around with us is an internal quality. Our thoughts are our own, because it is simply what we know, not what we do not know. And it is what we do with what we know. Hokmah. Hokmah is number 2 at the top of the pillar of mercy. It relates to what we know, which is wisdom. Hokmah relates to wisdom. Keter at the top of the tree is the crown, represents the highest principle of consciousness. It is the top of the pillar of mildness, or the middle pillar. Now, there are 4 worlds associated with the Kabbalah. Starting from the bottom, the lowest, Asiya, earth. Asiya is the lowest or physical realm, the material plane. Therefore, Malkuth is at the bottom of the tree in Asiya's realm. Yetzirah. Yetzirah is air. It's a formative, elemental, mental plane corresponding with how we use our minds. Now, naturally, it relates to what we study and what we take into our minds intellectually and our capabilities. Now, there are 3 triangles, if you look at the tree, and they intersect at different levels. There's 4 different worlds: Asiya, Yetzirah, Briah, and Azaluth. The 3 triangles separate the Sephirah from the triangle between Yesod, Hod, and Netzach, just above Malkuth. This, in the alchemical tradition, is air. Earth, water, air, and fire are how the alchemical traditions progress upwards, with the earth being the lowest and 5 being the highest. This is the informative world, where ideas begin to take shape, the sacred feminine, internal aspects of the Kabbalah. Not spiritual, but it is on the astral plane. Briah, water. Briah is the creative or emotional plane. It's how we use our hearts, our care. The alchemical symbol for this is water. The realm concerns the generative principle. It is an inner creative world, and how what we care about creates love. Absolute, fire. Absolute is the world of pure spirit, or the plane of will, which drives everything. It is alchemically attributed to the concept of fire. This is an archival realm. Issues of the world that are purely archetypal imagery. It is a pure idea, an alchemical fire, the realm of will, the realm of spirit, from which things arise from. Now, let's look at the Tetragrammaton. The Tetragrammaton is a 4-letter word in Hebrew. These letters are Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey, which we pronounce as Yahweh or Yehovah. These letters correspond to the 4 worlds or 4 plane. So these 4 worlds are different aspects of the individual. Asiya, earth, physical; Yetzirah, air, elemental; Bria, water, creative; Itziluth, fire, the world of pure spirit. The symbolic representation of this tree was destroyed on 9/11, destroying the ladder to God, Jacob's ladder. Understanding what the practitioners of this occult ritual were saying to us is that they were trying to cut off humanity from the divine, from nature. They were doing an excellent job of that, and we were helping them do it. Now let's look at the menorah. The menorah is known as a Jewish candle holder. It's used in the Passover ceremony. Now this is a different representation of the tree of life. There are 7 candles, and they correspond to different Sephiroth on the tree. The 7 candle holders in the menorah are in a U-shaped pattern. The 3 U's cross at a middle pillar. If you look at the middle pillar holder, then you have 3 external Sephiroth on the left, representing severity, Hod, Gebera, and Binah, and on the right we have Netzach, Yesed, and Chokmah, and on the outside of the path of mercy. At the top of the pillar of mercy of the candle holder would be Keter, and along the tree, the U-shape holders, a cross at the middle on the candlestick. On the other side we have 3 Sephiroth. The hidden realm on the middle pillar is underneath Keter. And in the middle, on the second rung, is Malkuth, which is the base. Now we must understand what drives us, what our motivations are. We understand what the aspects of consciousness are. The tradition of Kabbalah is visual, it's oral, and it's passed down through symbols and words. The word Kabbalah means to receive. This is a reception of knowledge, of the natural law principles. Now, dark occultists have kept the pure tradition of the Kabbalah for themselves. Then they've watered it down for the masses, the exoteric meanings. Dark occultists have this knowledge. They keep it for themselves for selfish purposes. And they've infiltrated all the religious traditions and given watered down versions of these traditions. Now this gives them an advantage. If you have more knowledge than others, then you can control them. You can keep people in ignorance. And this is also done through symbolism. Symbols speak to us at a subconscious level. They don't need to be understood consciously to have an effect. Other people are acting upon the beliefs that they have in that tradition or ideology. It is why it is used in advertising, movies, subliminal messages, news media, the military, and the police. It is used in mega rituals to bring negative change to the earth so that people can be more controllable. 9/11 is a chief example of the Kabbalistic symbolism employed massively to gain control over humanity. Now, humanity will only be accessible once this hidden knowledge is brought through to the day of light of day. Please realize that it does exist. It can be used positively or negatively. We need to make wise decisions to use it positively to elevate human consciousness. The 4 life qualities or soul qualities in Kabbalah. Nefesh is the animal soul. It corresponds to one of the 4 worlds. This corresponds to Asya, or the physical plane. The animal soul is the root instinct of the individual. Ruach is the mind's eye. It's our intellectual capabilities that corresponds to Va, the character in the Tetragrammaton. Yav He Vav He. Neshama is intuition, the sacred feminine. It corresponds with water. Chia is the universal life force, or alchemical fire, the worlds before the Kabbalah, and this universal life force. There are 3 levels of nothingness spoken about in the Kabbalah. In the dark realm of hell, which is called Klippoth, and above the tree, there are 3 levels of nothing, the void. These are realms of the Creator's intelligence. They are called Ein Sof Ur, or boundless light above. The divine breaks up into 4 aspects to experience itself in the physical world, or the dimensions that we live in. This is about elevating human consciousness to higher levels of awareness, and it all is about care, what we care about, what we bring forth into the world. The 3 worlds above the Kabbalah. These are abstract concepts, but they are considered to be essential in the Kabbalah. Above levels of awareness is the unified realm, which has 3 levels. The first, the Creator spoke into existence. Now, in the Bible, in Genesis, it is said, Fiat lux. Latin, that translates to, let there be light. The light of the Creator is considered to be boundless. There's something beyond light, something beyond the possibility of creation, beyond boundlessness itself. There's no physical dimension to it, just boundlessness. There's nothing between the stars and then. But finally, you have Ein, which is just nothing. It is the void, the absolute potential which underlies all creation, and from nothing, which everything emerges, the silence from which all vibration emerges. The Klippoth. Now there is a dark realm underneath the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life inverted or upside down is known as the Klippoth, the dark, deep subconscious realms that underlie physical creation. Some people say that there are whole worlds in this realm. Sometimes disincarnate subconsciousness may enter our physical dimension through these dark realms. It is said that some people are inhabited by negative consciousness, possessed, if you like, from other dimensions that control us and feed off our fear. Klippoth is the realm of these negative entities. The world of Klippoth would be called Hell. A world of the deepest, darkest recesses of the human subconscious mind that connect with all the dark dimensions of existence. These dimensions are not geared towards the elevation or the mastery of the individual, towards control of the individual for higher purposes. The Klippoth is an inverse of the Tree of Life. It's called the Tree of Death. And that's the black magic side of Kabbalah. It's what sorcerers use. One of the methodologies used to access our subconscious mind to control us, to put us on strings like puppets through the desires of these dark occultists. They control us through this realm of fear and dark energy. Now you could say that's the Antichrist realm. So that's an introduction to the Kabbalah. We've looked at the 10 Sephiroth, we've looked at the path from Malkuth to Keter, we've looked at the aspects of the left and the right coming together in the middle to create the stairway, or the Jacob's ladder, the stairway to heaven. So join us next time when we'll be talking about symbolism of the tarot. Please like and subscribe.